Conference with the top 3 drivers. This time, we'll send it down to our very own Michael Rigsby.
Dustin, Jarrett, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think this is the first time in the history of our Eldora coverage that we will bring you the press conference live. We've got Jonathan Davenport, the 30th annual Dream winner, in the center. To the left of your screen, Bobby Pierce, who ran second, and Brandon Overton to your right, who ran third. And, of course, open press conference in this room. Anybody that wants to ask a question can, excluding Jonathan's son, Blaine, but maybe we'll save one for him. We'll save one for him at the very end. If you guys do ask a question, say your name and what media affiliate you're from. Jonathan, I'll go first for you. I remember 10 years ago you saying you focus more on Eldora. Then 5 years ago I learned that you had a specific Eldora car. And I think I say this jokingly, but have you considered just building a shop on the property and just working out of Rossburg, Ohio permanently? And I think I'm only half kidding, JD, when I ask you that question. Have you ever considered it?
I'm completely serious. If Tony would sell me a little bit of land, I'd build a shop here for sure. Or at least a parking spot down there in turn 3. That's my favorite spot, and I hardly ever get to park there, as I don't like to get here too early. But we did this weekend.
I asked you if it felt as easy as it looked, and I've been here for all 10 of your major wins. You smiled and said, "Man, we felt really good." How I hate to use the word easy, but man, it looked easy. JD, was it that easy?
Nothing's never easy, but I've had a whole lot more challenging wins here than that. The first 75 was really, really good. The last 25, I felt like I could probably been a little better in traffic, but I guess I was good enough the first 75 to give me a good enough lead that I didn't have to worry about it.
10 majors in 9 years. The first one came on technicality, kind of, with a bloomer. Or wait, right? Yeah, right? Right. But then you just started picking them off. What makes you so good here? I mean, it doesn't matter what track condition or what car you're even in anymore.
I don't know. It's just it just fits me. It's just that you got to think through the whole race. Like it's like I've said it before. This race is like a chess game. You can't just go out there and just run wide open and expect to be there at the end. So it starts on prelim nights, with qualifying, heat races, and just steadily dialing your car in. And I've come like really good, I guess, at telling my crew what I need for here, and I've got a good feel for where the racetrack's going to move and when it's going to move, for just watching lap times and just experience. That's all it is. But the first one on the technicality, I still have yet to figure out why that caution came out to begin with. So, I think we was like 6 seconds ahead when the caution came out, so we might not have had to worry about that. But anyway, that's all in the past, so we're trying to do some different stuff now.
Bobby and Brandon, same question for both of you. It's an easy question, but it's a dumb one too. Did you have anything? Did you have anything for the 49? Bobby, you first.
No, simply no.
Did you know early that was the case?
I didn't know exactly how our night was going to go. I kind of was not really doubting how our finish would be, but I kind of thought if we get a top 5, that'll be really good for us. So to come home second was great, but no, I knew when he was in the 6th heat race, when the lineups came out last night, he was in the 6th heat starting 4th. I was like, well, JD's starting pole, we're done. So I would have really loved to gotten behind him and kind of followed him for a little bit and kind of learned some stuff, because he is right. He's very good at knowing what the car needs and applying that to the crew guys and having them make a good car for him. So it would have been nice to follow him. I followed him at the Million, but that was back in the Pierce car. So kind of be nice to get that chance again, just kind of follow. And I followed Brandon for a little bit, and I couldn't really keep up in the middle, so I went back to the top.
76, you followed him. What'd you think?
Yeah, maybe the first 30, 40 laps when I kind of got into second, I thought maybe if I was just having to use the whole racetrack, got behind him, watched him a little bit, like, all right, let's see if he messes up or if he moves or I can sneak by him. But yeah, once we got into the lap traffic, before he even caught it, I started feeling like all your problems, when you're out front, everything feels good. But when you start catching people, that's when you see what you got. And as soon as we caught that first round of lap cars, I think I had a hell of a time getting around Clanton, and I was like, all right, I'm going to have to use the whole racetrack. If it starts cleaning up in spots, it's going to be unbalanced. You know what I mean? Like, that's what he's got figured out. It ain't one thing. It ain't he's got more traction or he's got more side bite. It's a balance. You know how to get it, and when you hit on it, he wins.
I'm going to open it up to anybody else in the room. Kevin, you take the mic? Yeah. Kevin, you have to take the mic, is what I'm saying.
Okay, I just want to ask Bobby and Brandon. You both had very eventful weekends here. It must feel good just to come out of this with second and third place finishes. You got kind of expound on that a little bit. How you feel?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said earlier. It's probably the best third place finish. As happy as I am, we had a lot of stuff go on, lose a motor, and to come out and run third or whatever, and I had a cool weekend just to watch everybody work on my car. You know what I mean? Like that was like a mind-blowing thing. I had half the pit crew there working on it, so thanks to them, they got me up there, and I won my heat, and like I said, we made the best of it.
Bobby.
Yeah, I completely forgot that happened to Brandon too. So it is great for both of us to kind of get a podium, make some of that back, and talking about that too. JD's oil tank was in my car tonight, so thanks to them for lending some parts. And that always sucks. This sport's it's tough, and when things like that happen to start your weekend off, that's the last thing you want. So especially for us, we're looking at that. We're expecting that checkered flag to come up anytime in that race, and it's just the way it goes sometimes. You just got to get back on the horse and ride.
For JD in Overton, I did some quick math. You guys have won 9 of the last 10 Eldora majors just between you two, both from Georgia, representing the Peach State. Just talk about that and flex in here a little bit. JD, you can go first and answer that one.
Yes, I guess like we're both from Georgia, but I mean we ran crate together there for a little bit, but that was about it. I kind of moved on to the Carolinas and started my traveling career just a few years, I'd say, before he did, and then he went World Outlaw Racing, and then I went Lucas Racing. So it ain't like we ran together all the time. Every now and then we'd meet at Gaffney. So I guess just learning how to run 100 lappers and keep the tires under you there probably got a little bit to do with it. And Madden's really good here too. So he's one of the best there at Gaffney. So I guess we can just haul it all to Cherokee.
Yeah, same thing. I think, I always look back at for me, especially when I drove for Weaver, I had to go to, a lot of tracks where you couldn't mash them. I went to the Carolinas and raced a little bit, and I could smash it, but then I would get beat, in the longer races or whatever. I think so. Just some of our past where we grew up, some of the tracks that we always went to, just kind of helps us. Like I said, Gaffney, 100 lappers, we've had a bunch of them, and you lead them to the last lap and blow out, so you try to get better and better at it. Like JD said, thanks Gaffney.
JD, I forgot what I was going to say there, but sorry about that.
You're getting older, guys.
I know.
That's okay.
I'm getting older here, but go ahead.
We'll circle back around.
Jonathan, this is 10. And the reason I kind of like this question for the dais is this is 10 major Eldora wins, right? And Scott is the only one now ahead of you with 12. And I know that you may not care about that kind of stuff, or you may tell me that you don't care about this stuff, but I know the kid to your right is a major follower of the history of the sport. The kid to your left is a major follower of the history of the sport. Have you thought about, this is 10 Eldora major victories. You are inevitably likely going to pass Scott Bloomquist as the winningest major Eldora victor of all time. I kind of want, first of all, how the hell you feel about that. And I'd like their opinion on that as well, because it's kind of an insane statistic. If I had told someone that in 1995, they never would have believed that it was possible, but it's happening.
Yeah, like I still can't believe that I can come back and win again. Win again. It's so hard to win here. It really is.
Not that hard for you.
No, yeah,
Apparently not.
Yeah, I guess so the numbers say, but I'm just telling you, in my mind, in my heart, it's so hard to win here, and it truly is. And I got to think you only get to come here, for the dream one time a year, the world one time a year, and you could so easily be taken out. Just like I said, it starts on prelim night. Yeah. Something could happen there. Just like easily if one of these guys didn't get the motor changed, if he didn't get his motor changed, he might have to start 8th in his heat race and get in a wreck like he did, at the Million, at the Dream last year. So many things can take you out of it, and then you lose that year. Well, then you come back the next year, then you're almost a year behind in the 100 lapper of setup notes and things like that. So it can definitely snowball bad very easily, as good as it's been snowballing good for me. I've been fortunate enough to come back with the same car for the past 3 years now. And I mean, I've got a notebook for lap times, for tire choices, for everything with that car. So it ain't like I'm, doing it to another chassis, even though they're built the same. I've just been fortunate enough to do it over and over again.
Did you remember? Okay.
I remember now. Yeah. I wanted to ask JD about Chris Madden followed you early in the race, and did you kind of feel? I mean, he's due here, super due, and he also announced that he's going to be semi-retired next year. Maybe there's like some karma on his side that you're like, did you feel that he would be more of a threat to you than he ended up being?
Yeah, I mean, Chris is always a threat anywhere, especially when it gets slick, high momentum, fast places. I don't even know where he ended up finishing. Maybe something went wrong or what. He finished fifth. So, it's so easy just to miss just a little bit here. And, he's not had the luxury that I have to come back with the same car so many times. So, yeah, I mean, I keep saying it over and over, but I mean, that's really what helps me here. And, but no, Chris is a great competitor. I hate to see he's stepping back, but good for him and his family.
I think final question. Rhonda, you got one? Come over, use the microphone, please. And then I've got one more for Jonathan.
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. So I talked to Barry Wright yesterday, and he was talking about, the history with you guys, and even him being 47 years with his chassis, never thinking he'd be here. And he said two things. He said the equipment, the money, and then the driver, the person between the seat and the wheel were important. And then he also he said he named you first, that you're willing to go outside the box to try new things. He said that's important, and he also named some of your other guys. So anything to say about your history with him and just those thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Barry Wright taught me a lot. He got my career headed in the right path for sure. He shortened my learning curve up for these big races like this, and I owe a lot to Barry Wright. And me and him still talk a lot. Obviously, I'm not in one of his cars anymore, but I always wish the best for him as he does me also.
New format this year, guys. I just love your thoughts. Bobby, you first. Brandon, you second. Jonathan, you third.
It's a 9 out of 10 for me.
Okay, maybe a few thoughts on why?
The only reason it's not a 10 is because I wanted one more night because of what happened Thursday.
Sure. Otherwise, you liked it, though.
Yeah.
Brandon?
I don't really I can't stand being here and watching them. I mean, it's cool kind of, but then you're like, damn, I could be trying this or I could be trying. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you don't ever want to go and watch a race when you're not a part of it. So, I don't know. I guess the same amount of money or whatever, but I'm not a big fan.
Okay. JD?
For this weekend, how it turned out, I'm not a fan. But I also got here early on Tuesday.
Yeah.
We rained out Wednesday. These guys got to race Thursday. I didn't get to race till Friday. Well, you know what I mean? I was here essentially almost 3 days.
Had you raced Wednesday, would have helped, you think, a little
Oh,
bit?
well, yeah. I mean, that would have definitely helped. And
You really
I
kicked
like
their
being at
ass.
home as much as possible. And anyway, I think if we can come back and we can set up our days and we don't have to load in the day before, and then so everybody don't have to get here on Wednesday that somebody's going to race on Friday. Like, I would have loved to rolled in here on Friday. That would have been awesome to race Friday and Saturday. Even though I'd have to park up top, whatever, it doesn't matter. But it gives us more time at the shop, gives us more time at home. So I see pros and cons to both sides of it. So we'll just have to go with it. And if that's what they want to do, if the fans liked it, that's the main thing. I heard that some of them didn't like it, some of them did. Some of them that didn't like their favorite driver was racing that night. Hell, they stayed in the campground and just watched it on flow, or partied or done whatever. They didn't really care that much about it. So we'll just have to see how it turns out.
Final question. You are officially getting booed like a lot now on drivers' intros. You've passed into the pantheon of you're winning so much you're getting booed. What is your reaction to that?
I love it. That's fine. That means I'm doing my job. It used to be Bobby getting booed all the time, but now it's me. Yeah, a little bit, but no, that's all right. I guess everybody wants a new winner every now and then, but as long as I can, I'm gonna keep receiving them boos.
Jonathan Davenport, Brandon Overton, Bobby Pierce, thank you guys so much. We're going to toss to a quick commercial break. We'll be back for a final thoughts and wrap up with Randy Weaver from the 30th Annual Dirt Late Model Dream.